Good afternoon, y'all. August 20th. As many of you should see now, there's a lot of things in the world that either are stressing you or could be loss of anything in hundreds of ways, etc. If I want to speak on real matters, such as that there's hundreds and hundreds of ways of could be loss of anything for any of us, such as the increase in everything. Rents went from 1,000 a month average 2018 or so to a 1,500, 1,600 plus average nowadays. You could have a car accident any day. People's lost their car bumpers out the blue. You could lose your life any day from accidents or natural causes. People have been dying from natural causes. I've heard stories. I just heard a story the other day, many a times from somebody the other day. For example, a 62-year-old man at the gym said a male friend of his, 42, died because of natural causes, because of depression and stress and things like that. People having heart attacks. Or alcohol, smoking alcohol could kill you. A random house explosion killed about over 10 people just a few days ago in the news. People's jobs have been abusive to them, stressed till depressed. Your car could break down. Many people's cars suddenly broke down, have issues, high blood pressure, heart attack issues, the jail systems, prison systems, some people loss of license, unreachably higher rental costs, people having to work 6-day weeks. I know people who have to work 6-7 day weeks every week, and all this. And yet people who, when it comes down to dating, don't see all these possible losses or death, don't see it, and instead, of course, choose to quickly argue with one another, decide to turn on one another. Many women, example, saying hating men. Men statistically highest rate of suicide depression ever in history. Women not seeing those world obstacles I mentioned, following for the media's negative influence toward men instead, or being too distracted by the phones, etc., looking at Netflix all evening, every night, or phone games, or social medias, or movies, or TV screens all night instead. Every evening after work, rather than see, is distracting from how I would have had the ability to communicate, to discuss, fix the issues with that man or relationship, and the power it holds with a unified couple, providing company to one another, boosting the other, crushing work happier, splitting rental costs, caring for one another, splitting all expenses costs, reducing, i.e. 1,600 costs to 800 or less, having another soldier alongside you, discussing anything feel or need to be addressed, educating one another on removing certain habits so can love each other the most perfect way achievable. Then, like I said, enjoying a solid soldier and family together, splitting outrageous expenses, having a backup ride or a backup, and a love of life / happiness and building generational wealth. Instead, no one's not seeing that, being distracted, choosing to argue, following the traps, negative influence, medias to keep the families or relationships apart, and leave us to world instead of hatred toward one another, hatred toward man / distrust, and overall overly stressed, depressed, angry, easily explosive, not realizing it's traps set up to have so many obstacles, losses, outrageous costs of living, unfixable license requirements / allowance of widespread social medias, pornography, technological dating, etc. And instead of leaders addressing those, only mass spreading distractions and other distraction topics instead. We need to see all this possible loss / death / loss of things and stick together and properly communicate, discuss, educate one another, stick together and unify the families, not aloneness / running away / leaving / ghosting / anger toward each other, but recognize it's killing us off. So I've decided to try to do these daily speak / vlog on these real life concerns no one's speaking on daily. Also, hopefully to check in / remind myself as well as to you all of these real life matters, not distractions, BS. And hopefully keep remembered and try to stay with the fight best can. The power that we would have if we stick together, split all costs, laughed, encouraged, and doubled income would be unfathomable. Recognize the arguments, the irritability you have, the feel frequently irritable, quick to snap, is all traps, distractions, not seeing the slow degradation of communication you would have had if it weren't for the distractions, life stresses, and obstacles.